yeah, first port of call is, I would say, Bat Conservation Trust. Loads of information. There is a huge range of bat detectors on the market. Some quite basic, some much more advanced. There's an app for your iPad, or if you click a microphone in the end of it, and it shows you the frequency on the screen. That's perhaps for more advanced bat experts. Probably, I think at my last golf club down in Bedfordshire, John O'Gaunt. That's where my interest in all wildlife sort of progressed somewhat, and I started getting involved. I thought stuff that was around at night as well as during the day. So I got in contact with local bat groups and get a few surveys and stuff done, see what was about. I did bat walks for members, one couple of times a year, probably one on each course, and that was really popular. I've carried that on where I am now at Woodall Spa. We had one survey last year, which is I think the first survey that's ever been done here on the Bracken course, and we had I think 5 species of bat in one night. Nothing rare. Well, potentially there was possibly one rare one, but that wasn't 100% identified. Right, so we're hoping to carry on that this year, have a couple more bat surveys done, see if we can find a few more species. So the first port of call is probably Bat Conservation Trust. They're a hive of information. They'll be able to supply you with details of local bat groups, and then go from there. Contact them, I guess, by email or phone, and then talk to them. They can offer advice and help with leading a bat walk somewhere, or look out for your local wildlife trusts, nature reserves, places like that that might do bat walks in the summer. So keep a check out on them, because that's usual activity that they might do in the summer. Bats, I mean, I knew anyway. Bats are fully protected by law. There's 18 species in the UK. At John O'Gaunt, I recorded 8 species of bat. Woodall so far 5 species, but hopefully that'll increase over the years. I probably knew quite a reasonable amount anyway. But one thing I didn't know, it's not a British species, but there's a bat down in Mexico, which is the only thing that pollinates the blue agave plant, which is the main ingredient of tequila. So if there was no bats down in Mexico, there'd be no tequila. So I didn't know that before, but not a bat obviously you'll see in the UK. I mean, bats are going to feed on insects, so moths are one of the things that you'll see at night. If I'm out moth trapping in the summer on a warm, humid night, then quite likely you're going to get bats flying around as well, because they're looking for food. But any insects, bats like Benton's bat, which are associated with water. So if you've got a big lake or even a river in the summer, there's going to be lots of insects over the water, and you're most likely going to see Benton's bat flying around and skimming low over the water to pick up any of the insects that it finds. When we're at work during the day, you're not really going to see bats most of the time. When it starts getting darker in the mornings, so sort of October time, it's starting to cool down. Occasionally we do see bats flying around first thing in the morning. I just look at them in amazement, really. It's just being there and being close to nature. But you really got to sort of get out on the course during the night, either on your own or with an organised walk, and see what you can find. Now, most of the time, you're not necessarily going to see bats. You might see them flying around if there's enough of them, particularly over the water. But to find out if they're there, you need a bat detector. A bat detector will, I mean, you're not going to hear bats with your ears particularly, so the bat detector will change their echolocation into a frequency that you can hear, a bit like a series of clicks, and each bat species has a different frequency. So once you sort of get into it and find out more information, then you get to learn the different sort of frequencies when you're using a bat detector, what to look for. Yeah, I mean, when you're out and about working outside, you're always seeing stuff all the time. You get to know perhaps certain areas of the course, or whether it be a nature reserve or golf course, certain areas which perhaps are better than others, or some areas that you could improve. So when you go out surveying, whether it be bats or anything else, it's always useful, to keep an eye out and work out where the good spots are and where the bad spots are, and where there perhaps isn't much what you can do to improve those areas. Um, and like I said, I'm not an expert on bats by any means, but I'm always learning. I certainly know more than I ever used to in using bat detectors and checking the frequencies and stuff. Um, but if you can get local experts in, then you're going to learn a bit more every time. I mean, golf courses have got so much habitat, vast range of habitat over the whole country. It's always worth getting to help get you started. Get local experts in to help lead a bat walk and see what you've got, and then you can perhaps get your own bat detector and do your own walks like I did at John O'Gaunt, although with help, admittedly, from the local bat group. One occasion, I did find there was a notice board in front of the clubhouse, which was removed, and we found three roosting pipistrelle bats. Now, strictly speaking, if you've got bat boxes, then you shouldn't check them unless you've got a license to do so, and you shouldn't handle them really. But I took advice from Bat Conservation Trust, and they gave me permission to very carefully remove the bats from behind the notice board to a safe place. But they would be the first port of call if you found roosting bats in your house or building, particularly if there's development work of some kind going on, building work. If you found roosting bats, you would have to stop all the work and then take advice and see where you go from there. I'm very passionate about wildlife conservation on golf courses. You're never going to know what you've got unless you go out and look for it. So I mean, yeah, it can be difficult after a busy day at work. You want to put your feet up, have a rest, but it's all about learning and educating people. And if you can show people what you've got, they can perhaps look at the golf course in a different light. Yeah, I mean, the walks that I've done at my last club and currently at Woodall get the members interested and the local community as well. Golf courses perhaps not so much nowadays, but can be still thought of as a bit rubbish for wildlife. But if you can start getting the local community involved and spreading the word that just how good golf courses can be, you can show them things like bats that they perhaps wouldn't see ordinarily, and they can find out and learn more about them.